Hey YouTube, it's me again. It's been a while, been actually a long while. Um, had some stuff come up at the beginning of the year, had some other stuff happen. Kids went to kindergarten, well, my oldest went to kindergarten, but long story short, it is 2018. It is August of 2018. I'm not 100% sure what the date is, but it's pretty much around the 18th. Or 17th. One of those 2 days. Anyways, that's besides the point. The point of this video is we're going to talk about, as you see in the title, the TC Electronics Sentry. Now, I know this shot is kind of pulled back. This is my entire pedal board. And I'll explain the loop to you. So, the guitar I'm using today is a LTD. Oops. It is a EC256 with Kyle Schutt railhammer pickups. I really enjoy these railhammer pickups, especially in this guitar. They're a great upgrade, but that I can talk about upgrades on guitars in a different video. Anyways, today we're talking about the Sentry. Now, the guitar is going into my tuner over here, TC Electronic tuner. And what it's doing is I'm going straight out into the input. So there's an input, return, send, and output. Now, I am not sponsored by any company on this board or the guitar, or amps, or picks, or whatever. So I'm not endorsed by anybody. So I'm just going to give you my honest opinions about stuff. And I'm going to tell you that I do really enjoy this pedal. I do like it. There are a lot of pros. There's a couple cons. I'm not going to lie. There are a couple cons. But I'll get into that in a minute. But, so from tuner to the input on the pedal. Then I'm going from the output of the pedal to the Abominable Electronics. There's the input of it. So this is the Abominable Electronics Haunting Pools Reverb limited edition pedal, and then from the output on it, that goes into the Julia, the MXR Carbon Copy, the Walrus Audio Fathom. Then it goes into a TC Electronic Bonafide buffer, and then it goes to the output right to the amp. Okay, now I have from the send signal to the input of the EP boost, and then it goes EP boost, Black Arts Toneworks limited edition graphic Pharaoh fuzz, the Abominable Electronics Hail Satan fuzz. This is awesome pedal too. Both are great fuzzes, different in their own ways. The EHX OD glove, and then from the output of the OD glove then goes to the return of the Sentry. Now, the reason why I did it like this is one of the cons that I was finding. I had all my gain pedals in the input of the Sentry, and I found that the gain pedals weren't getting gated as well as when they're in the effects loop, because this is basically a send and return of like an effects loop of these pedals. Now, I do have a PV5150. It's over that way. You can't see it, but the PV5150 is I'm gonna turn off the Sentry, and I'm gonna turn on this is the channel selector for the 5150. See how much noise there is now. This does take. I'm gonna turn it off now. This does take a lot of the noise out, but there still is preamp noise from the amp. Now, the only way I'm going to be able to do that is if I actually run this and the effects loop on the amp. But I'm not going to be doing that because, honestly, that little bit of hiss doesn't bother me. It's more of this hiss, or this hiss, or this, or this. Well, that one doesn't really have any, but, and then you throw this on, and now there's no hiss. So I found, like I said, I found the return to work better. Now, I'm trying, you know, many of my videos I talk a lot, as you guys know, and I'm sorry. But I want to make sure you guys know my opinion. I want to make sure you understand what is going on. So there's a decay, a dampen, and a threshold. There's also a 3-position toggle switch, which you could do gate, tone print. So gate is up top, tone print's in the middle, and on the bottom is the hiss. So hiss really just takes takes care of a lot of the 60 cycle hum. Now, I'm using the tone print setting, and the tone print I'm using is there's like a tri-band. If you go in the tone print app on your phone, there's a tri-band tone print that actually works amazingly. It works amazing. Now, a little background: I've owned the not only TC Electronics Sentry, I've owned the Boss NS2, and I've owned the ISP Decimator. Granted, I owned the version 1 of the ISP Decimator, and it was not the G-string, so it didn't have the side chain on it, but I've heard that side chain is a little different. Now, what I'm going to do is the Sentry, the good thing I like about it is how well it works with the effects loop. The bad thing I like about it is that your return and send are crisscrossed, and your input and output are crisscrossed. So, I don't know if you could tell, but this wire that goes up here, so this wire goes from the output of my tuner, goes all the way, I have to basically snake it around my delay pedal, and then go into the input. And then for this, it goes underneath. Now, I don't know if you also could tell, I have a lot of switchcraft jacks. If I have 2 switchcrafts, I can't have them right next to each other because the 2 switchcrafts actually don't fit right next to each other. But that's a different story. I was able to use some other type of switchcraft jacks, and this is actually a demo cable that I was testing out that actually works pretty well, but I forgot who makes it. That is one complaint I have with it. The next complaint I have with it is that the actual gate part, it's okay. It's nothing great, but I feel like you have to start cranking the threshold. Now, I will note that this threshold works in reverse. So all the way to the right means that basically your threshold is wide open. All the way to the left means that it's completely gated. Your decay works the same, your dampen works the same as any other pedal. Now, I have it pretty much decay and dampen are straight up and down, and the threshold is just a little more than hiss. So what I do to do a threshold, I turn on a hiss. See when the light is green, that means the gate is open. So what I do, see, red light starts kicking in, but you can still hear a good amount of hiss. So right about there is where I found to be a good mixture of both. So off. Now that the red light means threshold's on. Okay, let's get into some playing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that this pedal actually does really good with decaying. It does really good with chugging. It does really good with like the stonery dooms type stuff. It does actually really well. And something I'm going to do too really fast is EP boost, Pharaoh, Hail Satan. So all together. My hands are off the guitar. Volume is still wide open on the guitar. I don't know if you can see the shadows. Both my hands on the shadowing. I am completely off the guitar, and all those pedals are on. Now I'm just gonna. I don't know why anybody would ever need that much gain, but I wanted to show you how good the effects chain is. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do the, I'm going to move this just a tad bit. We're going to do the Pharaoh. Now what I'm going to do too is I'm going to click the Pharaoh on and off. I'm going to click the Sentry on and off with the Pharaoh, okay? hum. Now the hum is gone. I like to use the Sentry more as hum and to kind of just give me a break when I'm not playing for a second. So. So, as you can see, I don't hear any like tone coloring at all. I feel there's a little bit of, I feel like when you start taking away stuff and you start trying to quote unquote perfect it, like the signal, then yeah, you are going to alter something. But when I had the ISP decimator, I know that's supposed to be like the top notch one. That didn't work for me really at all until I started cranking up the threshold and it started getting so choppy that I felt like it did start messing with the tone of the guitar. But let's go back. Off. This pedal does create a lot of sustain. So. Okay, there's a reason why I held out that long note. Because when most fuzz pedals sometimes don't always like noise gates. Now that's why I'm focusing a lot more on the fuzz pedals right now, because fuzz pedals and noise gates don't always get along, because fuzz have I quote, really fuzz have an unruly nature to them. So because sorry, I had a hiccup. Fuzz had an unruly nature to them. So to have the fuzz be able to sustain that long and for the gate to really more just take out a lot of the hiss, yes, it changes the tone slightly bit, but that's because, like I said, fuzz and gates don't always work well. Now I'm going to go over to the Hail Satan. Sorry for my feet. Get that off. So it works pretty well. I wanted to play more of a riffy type riff. I found this pedal does really good with more of riffy type riffs for a reason that, when you got start and stop parts, when you have parts where you're waiting for another section to kick in. So when I stopped for a second and then I went, that's another part. Sometimes I find with sometimes stoner doom type metal where they can't, there are parts that kick in and out. Now, one thing I will notice is that I actually prefer the Sentry in that situation, because one thing I've had with other noise gate pedals, and when you start having to crank up thresholds and this and that, you know, when you start having individual notes. So when I was doing the, sometimes even with that, you know, it actually will cut off like some of those notes, because it's almost, you know, it's almost, the threshold's almost too much. Now, you're going to be asking, John, what about clean? Now, I'm going to admit, I love the 5150 clean because it's very dark, it's very warm, but it's also, it's not the greatest clean, so. Gates open, I'm letting the string run out on the C chord, open C chord, still going, still going. As long as that green light's on, that gate is open. And my guitar sustained out before even the gate kicked on. Now the gate kicked on because I took my hand off, which is pretty cool. Now, you're wondering, well, what happens if you turn down your volume, right? Okay. So I'm going to turn it down. Turn it down. So that's about 3. Now about you. I had the guitar volume practically around 3/4. Okay, it was about 3/4. That's pretty quiet. You could hear my strings over my guitar. You know what I mean? Like, I know probably I could still hear my, you know, this is full volume. You know, you can probably still hear my strings over my guitar there. But to have it down, you know, to around that 3/4 mark, and it's not choking out my guitar signal, which is great. Now, the ISP decimator, it does a really good job at that too, but that, you know, the threshold. Now, you're also wondering, well, what happens if I use delay or something after? So delay, I know, is a big key thing with a lot of pedals. Now, I'm going to flip to the neck pickup. Now, notice how the gate is off, but the pedal's still going. You know, when the pedal's after, oop, my rain's up a little high, so, but watch. I'll throw on the Fathom. Holding out that note, holding out that note. Perfect. Now I'm going to turn off the Fathom and the MXR. Now I'm going to go over to the now, like I said, there is a little bit of hiss when it comes to the 5150. That's its honest nature of a high gain amp. But I just want to show you. Still turns out. Now, I think I have the gain around 6 right now on the amp, so it's still pretty high for gain. Nice. So I just want to point, I purposely wanted to do a pinch harmonic there because I wanted to show you, and I'll do it again, that the pinch harmonic doesn't cut out. It does a little bit at the end, but I mean, how long are you going to hold a pinch harmonic for? So it helped me not go into feedback, but I could go into feedback. in feedback, and then I mute the strings, and boom, gate kicks on. My hands are off the strings. It's a pretty darn good gate. And it doesn't affect my chugging. It doesn't affect my triplets. Like, I mean, that's a pretty darn good gate. Now, like I said, the Sentry does go to the Julia and the Fathom reverb. Doesn't mess with that. I was hitting the strings on that one. I was changing pickups. I know it sounds kind of boring, but I want to show you that this works really well. Now I'm going to do the OD glove with the EP boost. Take off the EP boost. Even with the EP boost on. Now, I purposely, I'm holding out notes on purpose to show you. I'm going to throw my tuner on, which mutes my signal, so I can put my guitar down, because I noticed that this video is getting a little bit long. And I'm going to tell you what, guys. I don't edit my videos at all. The only thing I do is if I pause it because I'm switching rooms or whatever, but that doesn't happen with all my videos. I really try to keep my videos very raw. Maybe you guys like it better that way. Maybe you guys like the professional made quality video. But I'm going to tell you what. This video is shot right now off my cell phone. Okay? So I purposely wanted not a perfect recording device. Because this phone, it's a Samsung S7, Galaxy S7. This phone, the microphone on it is very good, where it picks up everything. Like, I'll have my kids playing like 2 or 3 rooms over, and if my door's shut for some reason, because and their door is shut because they're playing, this phone actually has picked them up laughing. So that's why I really specifically wanted to use my phone, because it picks up every little bit of hiss and everything else. Now, I also want you to notice, I didn't have to adjust this once. I didn't have to turn any of these knobs. And it just stayed where it was, through clean, through fuzz, through distortion, through everything. It just stayed how it was. The decimators, I know that people get gun-ho about the decimator. And I'll tell you what, they're not a bad pedal by any means. But what I found with the decimator is that it was good for a lighter gain situation or to a medium gain situation. And I also had to find that all these pedals had to be behind the decimator, which then that actually affected these pedals more than anything, was having it behind. So that's why I wanted these pedals either in front of a gate or in the loop of a gate. Now, like I said, the one complaint I do have with it is how it's set up. But you know what? I made it work, and it's working, and it's fine, and it does the job. You know, with the tone print area, you can adjust what you want to adjust. Well, guys, I'm gonna cut this video from here. I hope I answered everything. I tried to show you guys fuzz pedals, boost pedals, you know, overdrive pedals, high gain distortion from the amp. I tried to show you guys some reverb, some delay, and some chorus. I showed you guys clean. I rolled down the guitar volume on my amp, and this Sentry has worked without having to adjust it once. So guys, I hope you have a good day. I'm going to try to make my videos come out more frequently. This, you know, I'm trying, like I said, my YouTube channel is trying to help the beginner to intermediate guitar player, or maybe to help you guys that are trying to make a decision between 2 or 3 pedals. I was, you know, on so many different forums looking at the decimators, looking at Boss NS2s, looking at the Sentry, looking at the EHX silencers, looking at the Pig electronic, you know, Pig nose electronic, not Pig nose, Pigtronics. I'm sorry, Pigtronics. I was looking at old Hush pedals, everything, you know, and it's so hard. I almost spent. I mean, there was a $230 pedal I looked at. You know, it was by a Fortin, which is supposed to be like really good. The Fortin stuff, but I was like, you know, that's a lot of money for a noise gate, and you can find these relatively inexpensive used. I would definitely suggest, even if you get a used one, try to see if it has the box, because the box comes with the cable, and I have the box over there in a cabinet right now. But the box comes with the cable, it comes with the owner's manual, which are 2 things that I definitely would suggest having. They're good to have. Anyways, guys, I hope you liked this video. Have a great day, guys. I will see you soon. Next week, maybe I'll try to do a demo on the Hail Satan versus the Pharaoh. Maybe I'll try to do the Pharaoh, then the Hail Satan, whatever. I mean, these are both killer fuzz pedals. They both, you know, are quote-unquote considered muff variants. So maybe I'll do those some other time. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Till next time, guys, take care of yourselves. Be kind. Pay it forward. Talk to everyone later. Take care. Bye.